We're going to talk about exponents a little bit more and see how well you did with your exponent discovery and if your predictions were correct. Now, if you're doing this from home and you don't have this piece of paper, please take notes exactly like what is on this piece of paper. It's really not that much. It shouldn't take that long. Pause if you need to. So exponents, you might hear it as powers, like 2 with the exponent of 3 could be referred to as 2 to the power of 3, which you might have heard before. So what we're going to fill in right here, we're going to say a group of like factors. Like factors means the same factor. So like factors would be like 5 times 5. That's the same factor. Can be written in exponential form. Okay, so this right here, what I just wrote, 5 times 5, that's actually called expanded form. So go ahead and write that down somewhere. We'll talk about it more at the bottom, but go ahead and write that down. But if I wanted to kind of shorten that and not have to write so many 5s, what I could do is I could say 5 with a little exponent of 2, or 5 to the power of 2. You also might hear that called 5 squared. So this is in exponential form. Okay, so same problem, but it's an exponential form now. The base, this is called the base, is the number used as the factor. So this 5 right here is called the base. All right, the number that is being multiplied. So see right here where I had 5 times 5, that 5 became the base. And the exponent, or the power, you can say power, tells how many times it's used as a factor. So the reason why I chose 2 right here is because see how 5 up here is written 1, 2 times, twice. So it would change if I had 5 times 5 times 5. That would actually be an exponential form, 5 to the power of 3, because it's written 1, 2, 3 times. Okay? So let's write another example down here. I want you to make sure that you label this because it is super important. If I had a base of 4 and a power or an exponent of 3, that means 4 to the power of 3. So what I want you to write down, it is super important, please write, do not multiply the base and the exponent. Now you are going to multiply, but you're multiplying the base however many times the exponent tells you to. Okay, you're not multiplying. The answer here is not 12. That is not the same as 4 times 3. Okay, if it was the same, we just write 4 times 3. So the example above is 4 times 4 times 4. See how I have 4 written down 3 times? That's because my exponent is 3. This is not 4 times 3. Not the same thing. You would get different answers. Okay? So let's talk about how to write something in expanded form. So expanded form, kind of think about what the word expand means. Is something expands, it is growing, it is getting bigger. So in this case, we're going to make our math problem longer to put it into expanded form. So right here, 2 to the power of 4, I'm going to use a different color here, that's not showing up super well. 2 to the power of 4, that actually means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. We wrote down our 2 4 times. Okay, so we're actually going to talk about something called standard form in just a second. But right here, this is exponential form, and this is expanded form. See if you can pause and do this one on your own. It won't take that long. And then when you're ready, hit play. See if you got it right. So 3 to the power of 3. In expanded form is 3 times 3 times 3. All right. So now we're going to write it in exponential form, and we're going to solve it. So I want you to label something over here. If I'm writing something using an exponent, this is called exponential form. Okay, writing it as an exponent. But when I solve it, when I actually get my answer, that's called standard form. So I want you to write that down on your paper too, that the answer is in standard form. So right here, let's go ahead and write this as an exponential form. So we know that the number being multiplied, remember up here, the number being multiplied is the base. So I'm going to make the base 2 because that is the number that I am multiplying. So 2 is my base, and let's count how many times it's being multiplied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 to the power of 5. Okay, now let's actually solve it. So what I like to do is kind of start from the beginning and then cross it off as I go so I don't actually do too much. So 2 times 2 is 4. Let's cross that off. Now I have to multiply 4 by 2. What's 4 times 2? 8. Now I can cross that off because I'm done with it. 8 times 2? 16. Cross that off. 16 times 2? 32. So our answer is 32. And I want you to kind of, off to the side, you only have to do this on one of them, but I want you to write that this is standard form, please. Okay, standard form. So this right here is exponential form, 2 to the power of 5. 32 is standard form. This right here, all that long, all those 2's, that is expanded form. All right, next one. So I see that the number being multiplied is 4. So 4 is going to be my base, and it is being multiplied by itself twice because it's written 1, 2 times. 4 times 4 is 16. That is our answer, and that is it in standard form. Next one. My number that is being multiplied is 5. So, and I have it written down 1, 2, 3 times. That means 5 to the power of 3. Now, just like we talked about before, the answer to this is not 15. That means 5 times 5 times 5. So let's do the first one first. 5 times 5 is 25. And we're done with that. We can cross it out. And then I'm multiplying it by 5. So let's do 25 times 5. Now, if you can do it in your head, fantastic. If not, we know that 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. So my answer is 125. All right, so like I said, it is super important that you have these notes written down exactly like we did. So here is that if you want to pause it, make sure you have everything written down. I need you to understand that expanded form, exponential form, and standard. Oh, that's not right at all, is it? It's standard. Are all different, but they refer to the same answer. So, for example, if I had 3 to the power of 3, if I wrote that in expanded form, let me use a different color here. Expanded form, that would be 3 times 3 times 3. In exponential form, it would be just like it was, 3 to the power of 3. Now, if I actually solve that, I know that 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, so standard form is 27, okay? So just make sure that you understand that. Write that down if you need to. You will be tested on it. There you go.